Page, I'm sorry?
It's 77.
Page 77. When you hear the word, it could be so confused with another word. So that's my problem. Whenever I see these words, my mind goes to other words as well. There are two words in Hebrew. One is spelled with an aleph, and the other is spelled with an ayin. But if you say the two words, they both sound the same. All and out, all and out. I guess if you have a good distinctive ability to say Arabic, I am told that Arabic does make a distinction, I'm sure it does, between the aleph and the ayin, so you can make a distinction in spoken Hebrew if you have that Arabic background. Anyway, the word al with an ayin means upon or on, and the word al with an aleph means no or not. And so that al word is important to contrast with the word lo. Let me just give you another word which means no or not, and a word that is the word asur. So three words we can pick together here. The word asur means it is prohibited. It is prohibited. Asur. Asur la ber bakita. It is prohibited, lidaber, the infinitive, to speak bakita in the classroom. Asur lechol lo kasher. It is prohibited not to eat kosher food. Asur, prohibited. The word al means no or not, but it is no or not in the sense of something temporary. Whereas the word lo is no or not, but carries the implication of permanency. Lo, 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 never, not. Al is no or not, but a temporary prohibition. And I guess the best example of that use of the word lo is to take that Torah in hand, open it up to two different places, but it's Exodus chapter 19 and 20, where the people of Israel are said to stand at a place called Sinai, and essentially they are referred to as a Kodesh, as a holy sanctified Goy, a Goy Kadosh, a holy nation is the terminology. Exodus chapter 19, sentence number 6. Atem to you li, and you are to be unto me. The voice of Hashem is speaking. You are to be unto me a Mamlech Kohanim, a kingdom of priests, and a Goy Kadosh, and a holy Goy, a holy people, a holy nation, and that's another problem. The word Goy means people or nation. I'm looking at the English translation I have in front of me. You are to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. That word Goy is also the term used for Gentile. And here's where another problem comes in. Goy is used for the non-Jew, translates as Gentile. Gentile can carry the connotation of something very negative or something very sneering. But the word Gentile is nothing more than Latin for the word gens, which means people, and that's what the word means. It doesn't have any negative connotation to it, except that's how you want to use it, and that's how it's going to come across. That's where language can be very deceptive. But Israel itself is called a Goy, and the word Am is peoplehood. So I guess I want to make a distinction between these words.
Am is what?
Am is people,
Oh.
a peoplehood, and a Goy is a nation. And Am Yisrael is how the Jews refer to themselves over the centuries. We're not a Goy Yisrael, we're an Am Yisrael. But an Am is also people. Go figure, except when it comes to interpretation. So if I look at the word Am, with the letter ayin, I think of the word im. Im is the Hebrew word which means with. And so togetherness is what makes Am Yisrael what it is. A Jew is a Jew is a Jew. They have similar problems, similar frustrations, similar achievements. But then, like what's going on in New York City right now, there's all kinds of problems about being a Jew there. The most recent one is an interfaith breakfast in honor of the new mayor, on which 3 major Jewish organizations refused to attend Mayor Mandani's breakfast of interfaith. the ADL, the B'nai B'rith group, the Jewish National Fund, some other group with the rabbis, etc. And what the hell's going on here? Well, one or two of them has not been invited to sponsor it, which ought to tell you that there's a Zionist element that's involved here, and God knows what's going on with Zionism, Israel, and the Prime Minister of Israel avoiding New York City because if he arrives there, he'll be arrested by the mayor of New York. That's what's happening now in the city of my birth, in a city which has the largest concentration of Jews outside of Israel, in a city that my good friend Yahweh calls his city of Brooklyn there. What's going on over there? This is what happens. And now you're having this month is called Black History Month, of which there is a major program, Black and Jews Together. So that's being watched on PBS right now. All of this stuff comes out with that word im, that word that word goy, etc. But that word lo is a permanent sense of meaning no and negative. And when you look at the so-called Ten Commandments, the Aseret HaDibrot, yeah, look at that word dibrot. That word commandment. The word commandment in Hebrew is normally the word mitzvah. Mitzvah, a commandment. But the so-called Ten Commandments are called dibrot. Dibrot. And by now, dibrot. Watch how I'm getting confused now. I'm saying dibrot. It should be dibrot. Dibrot. If I mean dibrot, it should be divrot. But the word is not pronounced as divrot. See how the problem comes in? With vocalization, divrot is a dagesh chazak in that bet, and a shvana underneath that little bet. A letter in the middle of the word, which is both a dot and a shva. The dot is chazak, and the shva is a shvana. The word is divrot. I know of no person calling the Ten Commandments Aseret HaDibrot. They say divrot. They say divrot to me. Don't say divrot. Or something, or say dibrot, I guess. Main thing is that Dalet Bet Resh. Do you see the Dalet Bet Resh? Of which we had the word speaker before, dover, or the word to speak with daber. The 10 words, the 10 spoken words. That's the proper translation of the word 10 Commandments. It's not 10 Commandments, it should be mitzvot. It's dibrot. 10 words. God, others, I guess 10 statements. And from the mouth of God, the so-called 10 Commandments, you have thou shalt not this and thou shalt not do that. And the Hebrew terminology in Exodus chapter 20 is the following. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. It also says, I am the Lord your God, I am a jealous God. Visiting iniquity, does it not say that of the fathers upon the children, upon the third and fourth generation, and showing mercy to the 1,000th generation? You shall not take the name of the Lord in vain. Lo tisa, the word lo. And the other negatives here, as I'm skipping all over the place here. The Sabbath day is remember the Sabbath, it's one of the 10 Commandments. It also has the following. Honor your father and mother, and where is the negatives? Sentence number 13 of Exodus chapter 20. Lo tirtzach, you shall not murder. Lo tinav, you shall not commit adultery. Lo tignov, you shall not steal. Lo tandeh, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And on and on. The negative word is lo, 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 which means under no circumstances can you say it's temporary, it's meant to be permanent.
Lamed Aleph.
How's that?
It's spelled Lamed Aleph.
Lamed Aleph, right, that word lo. Lo is the permanent negative. That's why it is really everyday Hebrew. We normally don't say lo, you say al. But there's one sense here, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. Lo tachmod, your neighbor's wife, I should say. 1 minute now. Oh, I should say because lo tachmod, yeah. Do not covet your neighbor's house. Lo tachmod eshet reacha. You're not to covet your neighbor's wife. And then it goes on. V'avdo, his male servant, his female servant, his shoro, his ox, his chamoro, his donkey, v'chol asher reacha, and all that belongs to your neighbor. And it's interesting, back in the day, we're talking about centuries ago, coveting was apparently a very present activity. Don't do it. And you can bring it up to this very day, and if there's one commandment that gets violated every second of the day, it's coveting. And I ain't talking about adultery right now. I'm talking about somebody's possession. You want something, earn it. Don't go coveting it. Well, it belongs to the Jews, we can take it, can't we? All of a sudden, the Jews own everything now. It's amazing what kind of nonsense goes on in the airwaves and what goes on about certain peoples, etc. That's why on my Facebook, as you may all recognize, there is a black man who is a Muslim imam who simply says what the Muslims are doing is wrong, 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 wrong. Misrepresenting Israel, representing Jews, representing, I guess, Zionism. Don't be jealous of things. Don't be envious of things. And it's not the use of law. And the other word with law deals with murder. It does not deal with killing. There's a distinction between to murder and to kill. Kill can be seen as self-defense. Murder is outrage, elimination of someone. But then your English Bible will have kill rather than murder. At least they did. Maybe now they changed it. Anyway, people, just some of this law business. And that word law with a vav means to him and to it. That word al with an ayin means on, al with an aleph means no. And the next word in your vocabulary is the word im. Get rid of that vowel, im can be read as the word am. And I guess that's what I'm doing right now. Without vowels, the same letters can spell an altogether different word, and when it spells an altogether different word, you play upon it. I like that word and the word im being related. To be a true there's got to be a togetherness. And I think that's very important. The next word, koreh. The shorish of that word koreh is kufrei shalaf. That word belongs to a gizrat called lamed aleph. Words which end with an aleph have their own little conjugation. You'll one day get to study all that. At this point, notice that the masculine singular is koreh, the so-called present tense, but it's not koreh like shomer, shomeret, or shomra, or korah, though that could be used as well. It's the word koreh for feminine singular. Well, how would I know that? You don't know that until you study it properly. But she throws it in right away as vocabulary. And any word that has the shoresh, again, that word shoresh is root, deals with to read. The so-called verb, likro, to read. And then you have a thing called kriya. A Jewish service on Monday and Thursday, a Jewish service on the morning service on Shabbat or our holidays has a thing called the kriya. Kriya is the reading, and the reading specifically means the reading of scripture. And to my knowledge, no church reads a parchment as part of scripture. They'll read a printed book. Jews have the reading of the Torah scroll, the kriya, which is unvocalized, and you prepare to read it. You cannot just read it just because you know Hebrew. And one who is a reader of the Torah is called a Baal Kriya, a Baal, a master of the reading, a Baal Kriya. Anyway, know that word Kriya. Kriya is reading, and prayer itself is tefillah. So a Jewish prayer service, you might say during the morning service, is of two components. The tefillah part, which is your prayers, And if the Torah is read on Monday and Thursday, and also on Shabbat. The next question is, why is Torah portion read on Monday and Thursday? The Torah portion that's read on Monday and Thursday is a preview of what's going to be read the following Shabbat. If it's going to be read the following Shabbat, then why the hell do you have to have a preview on Monday and Thursday? Because not everybody gets to synagogue on Saturday. How come, says Yirmiyahu? Because you're not supposed to drive. You're supposed to walk. And Monday and Thursday is a secular day where you can drive your horse, or ride your horse, or whatever you got there. It's also market day. And market day brings everybody together to the marketplace, so you take a few minutes out of the shul and go to the tefillah, go to prayers, and then you're happy to hear the Torah. That's my understanding why Monday and Thursday you read the Torah. Because people get together in the marketplace. It's a secular day, but you go to services in the morning. On Shabbat already, you're restricted as far as travel goes. But then people live in the same community, so it wasn't a big problem. Today it's impossible.
Question.
You live distances. Anyway, just a tradition why Monday and Thursday Torah is read.
When you say market, you know that the grocery store down Burbank, what is it called?
Cambridge.
Yeah, is that would be the marketplace? No, that's not considered like the
Yeah, what I mean marketplace, back in the day, is where people get together in one central area.
Oh, okay.
It's like the central business district where they did commerce and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, today already you have stores, etc., but you also have stores, like the Tel Aviv restaurant I was at yesterday is located in is it Encino or Tarzana? I think it's
Woodland Hills, I think.
It's the Arcadia. There's a lot of stores in one place.
Martino. Yeah. I was at that one. It's on Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah.
Nice.
In Israel, if you go to Israel, Jerusalem today, for example, you go to the shul, you go to the market, you got one store after another, a shop, a table. They're all over the place. And people, that's how they shop. And the Middle Eastern shopping is that way, it's this very day. But on Monday and Thursday, Torah reading, why not Tuesday and Wednesday? It could easily be Tuesday and Wednesday, but I guess it's because of the marketing. That's probably the reason why Torah is read. So that people have an opportunity to hear the parchment of the Torah being read as they're going shopping, I guess. Anyway, this tradition still carries on to this day. Okay, so coming back to my Hebrew now. The word Ritzini is serious. The word Ritzini is serious. The origin of that word Ritzini, every word you see has a root, and the root is connected with other words. The word Ratzon. Ratzon is a good word to know. Ratzon means will, desire. Ratzon.
That's Hebrew?
Ratzon is Hebrew, yes.
Oh, because they have in French, raison d'être, reason for being.
Ratzon?
Something I would say, right, reason for being, in French, raison d'être, it's.
In French?
Yeah.
What could well be the words from French? I don't think so.
From Hebrew, probably.
All I know is the word ratzon means will, and it's connected with the word ratzah, to want. Okay, let's go on to new words right now. The word ratzah, that's in the past tense. The present tense, it's a lamed hey verb. Is ani atahu rotzeh, rotzah, not ratzah. That's the past tense. He wanted. Rotzah is the feminine singular. She wants. Ani ahi rotzah. Anyway, reish tzadihei is the verb to want. Ratzon is the noun will, willing something. Ratzon, and ritzini. You could see the connection, you might say, with the Reish Tzadi Nun means seriousness. So if you want something, I guess it could be something serious after a while. And so maybe for that reason, Ritzini, Rotzeh, Ratzon are all related by virtue of the root letters Reish Tzadi Nun. And then there's another problem right now. That word rotzeh, rotzah, I want. Ani rotzeh lalechet, I want to go. Ani rotzeh lechol, I want to eat. Ani rotzeh lishtot, I want to drink. You'll know these words before the service over with. Ani rotzeh lashevet, I want to sit. And then there's another word, which is chafetz. Write down this word chafetz. Chafetz is masculine singular. Chafetza. Look at how I'm spelling that word. Chafetz has two syllables. The kamatz is open, unaccented. It's video kamatz. Next syllable, CVC, tsere, close syllable, accented. Then I add a kamatze for the feminine singular. The kamatz underneath that chet is now 2 places removed from the accent and reduces down to a shvana. The chet cannot take a shvana. It is placed where I'm going to chatafim, the chatafazah. Fits because this is originally an ah sound, and chafetza has the ah sound, which is also an ah sound. This word means to desire very strongly. Ani chafetz latzeit was the language I learned as a child. Sitting in a classroom with other children, 8 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, however old we were, and you had to go to the bathroom. The hand was raised, and you said to the moreh, Ani chafetz latzeit, not ani rotzeh. Chafetz is strong desire. And as you get younger in age, that little baby of yours will put his or her hand at the genital area and will scream out, Ima, ani chafetza latzeit. Otherwise, there'll be a puddle here. Chafetz is strong desire. And if someone says to you, Hey Baruch, ani chafetzazcha, Baruch, ani chafetzazcha, then that woman is crazy, or something's wrong with her.
What's that? Tell her. Yalla, boil it up. I need to go to cigarette.
Yirmiyahu, I'm sure you have your words of disconnect. Or maybe you don't.
What did he say?
If I judge Yirmiyahu's Facebook, he's got chafetz all over the place with every woman that's superior. Yirmiyahu, don't bring people onto your Facebook. You can use that word chafetz with that woman, you know, Blanche, whatever her name is, or whatever. But just be careful, or something, you know, you're in serious problems. She'll come knocking, she says, where's my ring? And that's where you have a problem. Anyway.
There's the Hafez time.
As I'm losing my teeth right now. The word ritzini is serious. It's a good word to know, ritzini. Why are you studying Hebrew? Are you serious about it? Ritzini? Can't bet on ritzini. It's a good word to know. Ritzini, the feminine is ritzini. And again, I don't know what they're doing with Israeli Hebrew now, where they're not making any distinction in gender. I oppose that, by the way. I think there should be that distinction. But that word ritzini is feminine. Anyway, the word shir and shirim. Here's another word that's kind of confusing. Look at the translation, a song and a poem. I don't know how many people in English make that distinction, but I guess that's what a song originally was. A poem set to music. And how many of us into music basically put our words together and have a little poetic rhythm to it? So shir and shirim is the plural. The word is masculine. If you have any confusion if the word is masculine or feminine, look at the unvocalized Hebrew, which has the zayin with a nun in it. That word shir, I need to get this across to you right now, is very much a confusing word among the Ashkenazim. There's a Hebrew word shiur. Shiur is a lesson. Shiur is a lesson. Look at how I spell that word shiur. I spell it with a chirik that doesn't look like it's closed. There's no dagesh chazak in the in there. So people will put a long chirik there to make sure you have it as a proper syllable. On the other hand, something I've taught you already, if you have a vowel that's short, and the next letter is laryngeal. And there seems to be an irregularity, whereas the short vowel being closed by dagesh chazak, if laryngeal letter cannot take a dagesh chazak. If there's no shonach hanik, the next letter. So we say it's potentially closed. The word shiur is properly written this way, but it's sometimes written with that long hirik to make sure you don't have a problem thinking about syllabication. Shiur is a lesson. Shir is a song. So what's the big deal? The big deal is in a yeshiva world, the world where you study Talmud day in and day out, and why the Charedim of Israel are going to bring a case against the state of Israel if among their religious young men they have to be conscripted into the armed forces, of which there is a major problem right now as I speak. A number of them voluntarily serve, have no problem. Some of their rabbinic authorities are opposed to it. The Sephardim, to my knowledge, don't have that issue. I might be mistaken, Baron. The Ashkenazim from Lithuania somewhere definitely have this problem, from Iraq. You can't fight it. The state of Israel has the final say on this. Anyway, what's this got to do with Shir and Shiur? When you study the Talmud, and your reality will be an eye-opener, you don't study it the way Zev Garber teaches Hebrew. Admittedly, I get very dramatic. I scream. The Talmud is studied as a song. Oh, Moravi Akiva, Moravi Tarfon. And so you're going to which class? I'm going to a shir. They want to say shiur, but they say shir. I'm going to the Talmud school. It's easily confused the way Ashkenazim speak Hebrew of saying shiur and shir, even though the words are totally different in appearance. So I call that to your attention. A shir, a song, a poem, and shiur, a lesson. And a lesson, if you will, with a Talmud is a sling song. Two more words and we'll finish it. The word shel is the possessive word of. So, for example, kita shel ivrit. Well, we'll teach you how to use that word shel. But she tells you what it means. It's a preposition which is a word of, shel. Tachana is station. And here's a good example of the so-called potentially closed skuram bakov. That word shiur, again, if I spell it this way, the chirik is potentially closed. If I take the word tachana, notice how it is spelled. Notice it's CV, that first syllable. The chet does not have a dagesh chazak. The chet does not have a shonach hanrik. The patat clears the open, but we claim it's potentially closed. The actual spelling of tachana, if you want to be really cute about it, should have been tachna, tachna. When a shvan nachan the chet. But somehow the chet connected with the nun letter, tachana, tachana, comes out as tachana. So whenever you have a patach, open syllable, we say it's potentially closed if the next letter is a laryngeal. Tachana, station. Tachana. Let me finish up the vocabulary, if you don't mind me taking a few more moments. The next page. Okay, that one could wait with. Next page has verbs that we'll pick up on Tuesday. The vocabulary we finish up this page here. And let's just take that word tachana. Tachana is station. Again, every one of these nouns has three stages to it. Tachana is the absolute state. Ha-tachana is the definite state. Ha-tachana means the station, or a specific station in mind. And then there's the construct state, station of, tachanat. The common say because of tachanat. If you know the stations by name, you say Tachanat Williamsburg, station of Williamsburg, station of. All this you'll learn intensively later. Same thing with the word mitzvah. Mitzvah is commandment. Ha-mitzvah is the commandment. Mitzvah means commandment of. Mitzvah to Shabbat, the commandment of the Sabbath. With that said, people, let me wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, a happy Sabbath, peaceful one. Be well. See everybody on Tuesday. In your
Shabbat Shalom.
Hashem, if the Lord so wishes.